gun to me. See this light of all the sheets, your foundation. Feel me, physical father. I want you. He's a gun to me. Your boldest. I want you. He's a gun to me. See this light of all the sheets, your foundation. Feel me, physical father. I want you. He's a gun.
What's good with it, Gun Freak Nation? What up, though, Scott? What's up, brother? Sean Scott, what it do? What it do? What it do? What it do? Man, the weather was nice in Detroit. You feel me? I think it was like 80. I think it was the first time hitting 80 degrees. You know, so you know it was a beautiful day. But unfortunately, you know, in the city and shit, man, you know, once when the weather get warm, you know, savages don't know how to act. You know, they be acting wild and shit in the wintertime. They act wild in the wintertime. So you can only imagine how it's gonna get in the summer. You feel me? What up, though? Darth Vader is in the house. Sean Scott is in the house. And I just want, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Yes, sir. What up, though, Darth Vader? Brother, anytime I need some ballistic advice, you my expert. You my number one go-to guy. Anytime when I want, matter of fact, you know what, Darth Vader, man, we got to talk, man. Cause I'm gonna have you craft me. I'm gonna have you craft me. I'm gonna have you craft me, brother. The most lethal Funky Town sender that I've ever had. Cause you make the motherfuckers, you reload. So I want you to make a special line, and I'll buy it. I don't ask for nothing free. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask for nothing free. I'll buy it. I don't ask for nobody to give me shit free. You feel me? But I want you to make me a TElectrik custom Funky Town sender bullet where they get savage get hit by that one bullet. I don't give a fuck if I pop them in the pinky toe. They go in the Funky Town. That's how devastating I want that bullet to be, my brother. Okay, we gonna talk behind the scenes, and I pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Now the calibers that I have. Let's see. I got 9mm. I got 300 blackout. I got 5.56. I got 45 ACP. And I got 5.7 by 28. So I'm gonna pick one of them. And I want you to, you know, do your thing. But, you know, I know I titled this I titled this the best, you know, gun for home invasions. You know what I'm saying? I thought, I plan on starting to do this live uh pretty much on a nightly basis. And I figured that I would, make the premiere, the encore, I'm gonna take it back to the roots. I'm gonna take it back to the basics. I'm gonna take it back to where it all began about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when I was just buying guns. And in the middle of me doing a gun collection video, I said, if you know, mofo break in your house, do what you got to do. But I'm being a little reserved right now. What I actually said is a motherfucker break in your house, blow his motherfucking brains out. That's what I said. That was the T, and it's still the same T. But But the best gun for home invasion, like I agree with my brother Darth Vader. I do believe that every gun in your collection should have it should be a reason for that gun, for you selecting that gun. It should be a purpose for having that particular gun. Back in the day, I was just grabbing guns because I wanted all my Call of Duty guns. I played Call of Duty Battlefield. Matter of fact, I like Battlefield a little bit better than Call of Duty, even though Call of Duty is still the shit. The last one was some shit. The Black Ops 7, horrible. Shame on you, whoever that man. But I always have been. I had a 308, brother, nephew. I had a 308. It was a Caltech RFB. I never got a chance to shoot it before I ended up selling it. So I did have a 308, but I never put it to use. I never, you can say that with a great majority of the other weapons that I had. I'm more so a gun collector. You know what I'm saying? I am thinking about getting that 8.6. I ain't put the trigger on it yet. That they got at BCA. They got the 8.6. But getting back to the topic, the best gun. Wait a minute, hold on. Something ain't right. Hold on, something. Let me make sure I got this laptop plugged up. I thought I had it plugged up, but nope. It should be fully charged anyway. Hold on, let me get. Come on, T. I got to do better, man. I got to be more prepared. All right. The best gun for home defense is the best gun for home defense for a home invasion and countering a home invasion is the best gun that's for you. I can't tell you what worked for me may not work for you. It depends on your living situation. It depends on your budget. It depends on, it's a lot of factors. But one thing that's essential is that you must have a reliable gun. It don't matter whether it's expensive or cheap. Long as it go bang when you pull that trigger in the time of need, that's your gun. That's the best gun for you. What you can afford. Don't let nobody trick you in saying you need a $2,000 gun, a $3,000 gun. I really don't care for people like that, snobs that want to look down on people or judge people because of what they can afford or what they like. Those are closed-minded people. Never look down or judge the next man until you walk into that man's footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Get the gun that work for you. The gun I got, my primary pistol that I got right now, I got the Rock 5.7 and I got the SAR 9. And you two don't like prices, but it was very, very, very affordable. For you, it's no more excuses for a person not to be a firearm owner, to own a firearm. There's no more. It's a lot of budget friendly firearms out there to be purchased, man. And for you to be, for the people that what I need a gun for, I don't mess with nobody. I live in a relatively, peaceful, quiet, no crime neighborhood. I don't need a gun. Well, you're living in a dream world, because that shit can go down and happen at any time. You feel me? At any freaking time. But I would say the best gun is the best gun for you. If you new to this, go to your local gun shop and try to find a gun shop that got a range attached to it. Go to a gun shop that rent out guns. A lot of gun shop, most gun shops that got the ranges in them, they have guns that you can rent. And rent one of those guns, and if it feel good in your hand, and you at the range, and you put some down the range, and it feel good, and you can stay, you know what I'm saying? You can stay on target. Then, and if you like it like that, then that's the gun for you. Now, I will say this. I don't recommend a 22 long rifle. I personally don't think it's ideal for, self-defense, home defense. That's just me personally. But if that's all you have, then damn it, make it work. Make it work. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people have been took up out of here by a 22 long rifle. At the end of the day, it's all about shot placement. Don't let nobody tell you differently. Don't let nobody tell you got to have this particular gun. Don't let nobody tell you that the gun should cost this much. Don't listen to them when they say, oh, but you need this particular type of gun. You're going to have to pay money if you're going to have this type, if you're going to have the reliability. That's bullshit, And then I get the ones that's to this day, oh, T, what you get rid of that for, man? But you need to have like the little Ace, you need to have that Mark 18, the Daniel Defense. I don't give a fuck about that Daniel Defense Mark 18 that you can shoot 500,000, rounds. I'm not trying to shoot 500,000 rounds. I'll never shoot 500,000 rounds out of that gun. So that don't impress me. All I'm trying to do is just live my life in peace and have something reliable that's going to get these stank savages up off of me and my family. That's what it all comes down to. So don't listen to nobody. Well, let me take that back. I'm just saying, take everybody got an opinion. Take everybody's opinion with a grain of salt and do your own research. Find out what you like and what would work for you and your family, for the protection of you and your family. And find out what worked for you and work for you in your environment. You may live in an apartment, so you may not want to have an AR-15 or AK-47. Because you don't want to do harm to your neighbors if God forbid, a shootout happens. It's also important to have some type of ammunition that is, going to fragment. And this is why I say any bullets that you decide to buy, whatever caliber, whatever gun that you choose, whatever brand or whatever, it don't matter. When it comes strictly to man, I'm getting indigestion. My bad. When it comes to self-defense, you need those self-defense rounds. some type of hollow point, some type of ammunition that's going to fragment. You know what I'm saying? You don't want something. You don't want to punch holes through people and to go through them. I mean, you don't want to punch holes. You want to punch holes in a savage, but you don't want the projectile to exit out of them, out of the target, and hit somebody innocent. So that's why it is important for you to have those hollow points. You know, some type of fragments. And they make it for AR-15s. They make it for I think AKs. I got some hollow point 7.62 about 39s. You know, God, you know, really, I ain't, thank God I haven't had to use any of my guns. You know, I would hate for that day to come, but unfortunately, you don't get the chance. You don't see. That's the thing that these savages about home invasions, man. You never pick the time or the place. When the devil come for you, the devil gonna try to catch you off guard. You know, you don't get to pick and choose the time and place when the devil or these savages try to attack you. When the devil attacks, you don't get to choose it. They got that advantage. But saying that, they don't get to choose and tell you how you're going to respond. And I say, if those if the enemy come at you, these savages, they break up in your house, then I say that you got to go nuclear, man. You got to turn on your own savage mode and be a bigger savage than they are. You got to. Because if you don't, and they catch you slipping, and they get the drop on you, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And not only have you, undermine your own safety, but you don't put your family at risk. And once they get you out the way, they're going to target your family next, man. So, home invasions are wicked, man. They evil, they wicked. And a lot of people have lost their lives because they wasn't being savage ready. They just wasn't prepared. And a lot of them thought that, hey man, I'm in a nice neighborhood, this type of situation could never happen here. And they're no longer here now. So you got to be ready at all times. And I'm telling you, I know the topic is the best gun. I'm just trolling y'all with that topic. There is no best gun. This is the best gun that's for you when it comes to protecting your family. It's the best gun. Pick the best gun for you. Do your research and make sure that it's reliable. Make sure that it's reliable. Now, me back in the day, this is what I personally would recommend. You definitely got to have that handgun. Okay, Derek, I'm always worried about a savage pretending to be police to get the drop on you at like 2 a.m. You absolutely right. I've seen that scenario go down so many times, and it's not just them pretending to be, law enforcement, the police. I mean, I know you heard of that video that happened, the situation that happened, I think in Minneapolis, like a couple of months ago, like 2 or 3 months ago, it went viral. The actual crime that, the home invasion, I think it was last year. I think it went down in like 2024 or some shit like that with the savages that was dressed up like UPS, and they and the son unknowingly went out there and let them in, and they took out their whole family. He had cameras all over their home, but it's one thing that he did not have, and that was guns. And then they come to find out he was a drug dealer. He was being robbed for the drugs. They thought it was money and drugs in the house. And when that incident, just look it up, man. If you didn't hear about the story, it's on YouTube. Just Google it, look it up. But yeah, watching that video, man, it was hard to watch because it was little kids there, man, little toddlers, man, little children that had to witness their family get, taken up out of there like that, man, by these savages, But it was plenty of opportunity that if they would have been armed, if they would have had guns, if the wife would have had a gun, because they got the son and the father first. The wife was in the back bedroom calling the police when she should have been getting a gun. Obviously, they didn't have one. If she would have had a gun, it would have made a difference. It would have made a difference. That's why it's so important to be armed, because that gun is going to give you a fighting chance to defend your life. Okay? That's essential. Ain't no hands down. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. They're a damn fool, and they don't have your interests at heart. They don't give a damn about you. Don't listen to an idiot that tells you that you don't need a gun and that you shouldn't have one in the house for whatever reason. That's a dumbass person, and that's a person that's probably low-key hating you and wants something to happen to you. Now, to answer your question, I think that's everybody's fear of or concern about these, these savages are they pretending to be the sheriff officer, they pretending to be police. The thing of it is, if they come knocking at your door or banging at your door, don't let them in. And you yourself get on the phone, dial 911, because if you are unsure that they're the cops, call 911, tell them the situation, what's going on, and ask them to confirm it. Don't ask to see a badge, because you can fake anything nowadays. You can have a fake ass badge and all that shit, be looking straight up like a cop, uniform and everything. Don't buy into that shit. You wanna, if it's the real police. And here's another thing, man. Police rage. Police can raid your house. I've seen it where they don't got the wrong address and raided the wrong house and shit. It happens. It can happen. In a situation like that, if the police does some shit like that, first and foremost, I'm gonna see you before you even, make it to my front porch, because I got cameras and shit. I got proximity sensors and shit. You break that proximity, that perimeter, alarms is going to sound. So if I'm not seeing no police cars, and if I'm not seeing, a bunch of police cars, if you see a bunch of police cars and they get the lights on and all that shit, 9 out of 10, they the real deal. But if you see some sketchy motherfuckers, and you see, like, it was an incident that happened right here in Bloomfield, Michigan, where they pose as a DTE. DTE is the electric company and shit, right? These two savages was savvy enough to pose. I mean, they had it down. I mean, they had the little pad and shit, like the little iPad. They had the little fake IDs. They had the little yellow reflective, vest and shit. They had a van. These motherfuckers went as far to get a van and put a DTE sign on the side of the van. So they played their role down to the T. They came like at, I think it was like 9, 10, 11. It was nighttime. The target wasn't having it. It was like, I can't let you in. I can't let you up in here. So he lived that night. The next day, that morning, they returned, which he should have knew something wasn't right, because why is the same two savages right back knocking at the door? And he answered the door again. Where he fucked up, he let him in. He was like, sir, we need to check your gas meter. He let them in. It's two of them, two savages. He had a gun. The homeowner had a gun himself. It was hosted to him. But where he fucked up at, he let him in thinking that they were legit. He let them in. He took them down in the basement. And from what the wife said, because they went, they don't cop the motherfuckers. He went first and, down the basement steps. They followed behind. I assume that they grabbed him and he couldn't get to his gun that he had hosted. And they killed that man. They killed him. So yes, savages have gotten clever. So if anybody come to your door and they want you to open it and they pose, and you got, number one, you have to automatically assume that they are, what's the word? They not real. I can't find the word for it, but they masquerading as whatever. You have to always have that in the back of your mind. You got to always have that thought in the back of your mind, like they could possibly be some savages pretending to be police and imposters. You know what I'm saying? And don't let them in. If it's the real deal police, you work it out. Call, tell them to verify. Call 911. Get the shit verified. But anybody that forces their way in, and you think they not the police, then you got to do what you got to do. God forbid, I hope they not the real police, because it ain't gonna end well on your end. If it is, it's fucked up. It happens all the time. Police get the wrong house that they raid, and it can happen. You can't say that it can't happen. It has happened before. But these savages, man, they are smart. They're not stupid. They're not dumb. I mean, they coming in like they're the police. They got on body armor. They being tactical with it. You know what I'm saying? I've seen cases and they be dressed to the T. And they can't fool you, but you can't trust. Who do you trust? No one. Trust yourself. Trust your first mind. If it ain't feeling right, if it ain't looking right, if it ain't smelling right, then it ain't right. And you got to do what you got to do to protect you and your family at the end of the day. Another thing I want to touch on is not making it easy for them. Make sure that your home, if you can afford it, everybody can afford to buy alarm systems, even though they're relatively inexpensive nowadays. But get your cameras, man. None of that shit at the end of the day is going to save you from a savage that is, determined to get to you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, all those have your warning system, just like the United States, the government got all these satellites and shit and radars. So if Russia or China try some shit, we gonna know in advance and be ready to retaliate against them. Make sure that your home is fortified. A lot of people is not here because they didn't think nothing could happen to them. So therefore, they didn't have no cameras. They didn't have no alarm systems. They didn't have their windows, fortified. They didn't have their doors fortified. You got to make sure that your shit, you got to guard your castle with fuck a bat. You got have a fucking AR-15. This is what I suggest. Have you a handgun. Get you a some type of rifle. And when I say rifle, I'm talking about like an AR-15, AK-47. Get you a rifle. I ain't even got one myself, but the shit I got is for me. And I'm just saying, I got the AR pistol, the AK pistol. So it can be that, and get you a shotgun, man. I think you should have those three. You use your handgun to get to your rifle. And when you get to your rifle, you ready for war. You know what I'm saying? I've seen situations where victims, it's been multiple savages. You got 3 at your back door, you got another 4 at the side. And they kicking that bitch in at the same time. We got savages using tactics like that. We got savages that's purposely tampering with your car, hoping to trigger the alarm system, hoping that you would come out to inspect your car. And when you come out, bam, they got the gun to your head, or they don't shot you down right on the spot, and then they're gonna try to run up in your house. I've seen that scenario play out in real life, where they fuck with your car, hoping you come out, and that's how they get in. But still, have your security, man. Don't make it hard for them. And if you live by yourself, whether you're a woman or a man, make sure that your bedroom door has a lock on it, and then add another lock, like a bolt lock or something to reinforce it. Because say if they do get in, you live by yourself, they ransacking your house. Of course, they're gonna make it to your room, but don't make it to where they can just walk in on you, man. And if you sleep, the reason why I suggest you put a lock on your door, they're gonna have to kick that bitch in. And them kicking it in should wake you up, and it should wake you up to grab your fucking gun, your funky town sender, right there on your nightstand. And as soon as they make entry, send them to Funky Town. Do what you got to do. Put that threat down. From time to time, I'll have people, reach out to me, people that watch the channel, obviously. And some of them have been through situations where they could have lost their life, and they thank me for, spreading the word, putting the message, preaching the message to get armed, because that's the only thing that's going to give you a chance, a fighting chance. That gun is going to give you a fighting chance. And thank God that they survived it, but some horrible things was inflicted on them people, and they'll never be the same, ever. They're going to always deal with that trauma. And on the other note, I got people from Gun Freak Nation, my Gun Freak Nation family, that reach out to me, and they actually had to do what they had to do. They passed the test when the savages tried them, and they sent them to Funky Town. I'm not gonna name no names. All I can do was tell them, reply to them that I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you that you were savage ready, and I'm gonna always be glad that there's one less savage in this world, because that's one less savage we got to deal with. You feel me? So yes, some of y'all know what it's like to send somebody to Funky Town. I can't say that. Thank God I don't want to take a life, but when it comes to my family and my life, I'm gonna do my best to get you before you get me. But to go back to the topic, the best gun for home defense is the best gun that you choose to own. And you need to do your research. You need to go into the range to shoot that gun, and don't just shoot the full metals, shoot the hollow points, because that's what you're going to use at the end of the day, hollow points. You can go and shoot the cheaper shit all day at the range. That's what it's for. It's range ammo, right? The full metal jackets. nobody really wants to shoot their hollow points, because they're expensive as shit. They're expensive. But you gotta take, if you got 20 rounds, you better shoot at least 5 of them. And if you shoot 5 and you don't have no issues, then you should be good. You should be good. At least shoot 5 of them out of them. I understand. I do the same thing. I'm getting a message from somebody, y'all. Hold on. Shit. But one thing I can promise you for sure. Okay. Trich, you say a Mac 11 with the folding Uzi stock with a 50. Oh my God. Man, you on some New Jack City shit, brother. You got some New Jack City shit. The Mac 11, you got that Scarface. Remember in Scarface when he went up in the motel and they was doing the deal and shit, and they had you know, they was gonna rob him, and they put the guy up in the tub and shit. And then when the dude was like, "Damn man, it's taking too damn long. They been up in that hotel room a long ass time. Let me go see what's going on." And the chick that was laying on the bed, she had that, I think that was a Mac 11 she had under that pillow. And she just threw it out, and man, yeah, brother, you got you an iconic weapon. You got you a badass Funky Town sender. And you got the 50 round mag. Shit. Yeah, you definitely savage ready. You know, but I want to touch on shotguns. A lot of people misunderstood me back in the day. I used to like, one thing about me, you'll never see me, and you never will see me talk shit about somebody else's guns, or man, you got a cheap gun, or you know, you got a high point, or what you gonna do with that old ass shotgun. And you know, you'll never see me talk shit. Only rant and complaint that I had about a shotgun, and by the way, shotguns are excellent for home defense. But I just never liked the ones that Joe Biden, the former president Joe Biden, wanted us all to have. And that's that motherfucker where you only can shoot one shell at a time. You break the bitch down, and you got to put that one shell in there, and then flip it back up, and then shoot, then break that bitch down again, take that hot ass shell out, and then put another one. That shit will get you killed. Biden was trying to get us all killed. He was like, man, you know, these anti-gun fanatics, they always say the same boring ass shit. Oh, all you need is a shotgun. You don't need no AR-15. What you need 30 rounds for? What you need 30 rounds for? You can't shoot? You gonna go hunting with an AR-15? Guns were meant to be, you know, to go hunting with. Guns were meant to hunt with, not hunt humans. And you don't need a 30 round AR-15. What are you gonna do? You know, you're crazy. You're a madman. You got 30 rounds. That's some war shit. That's what they all say. The same bullshit ass talking points, man. Same bullshit talking points. What up though, Jibs? But what you got to understand, something wrong with them type of people, and they live in a bubble. Now I don't told y'all it's better neighborhoods. Of course it's better neighborhoods. Of course it's neighborhoods in the rich areas that shit on my neighborhood. But does that make it safer? It might actually be more dangerous, because guess what? Them savages got sense. They know where the money at. Ain't too many of them gonna fuck with anybody in the hood, because they know most people in the hood gonna be strapped up, because they know the environment that they living in. They want to go out there to them suburbs. They want to go out there and mess with the people that got this false sense of security. Now I know somebody, and I ain't gonna mention the brother's name, but he stay in the suburbs. I ain't hating on nobody that live in the suburbs, man. I lived that life for about 3 to 4 years, and it's nice. It's very nice. I ain't even have a gun. I wasn't into guns back then. I ain't even have a fucking gun. And that was probably the most stupidest, dumbest period of my life. No, is the suburbs safer than in the city, the urban city? I'm in Detroit. Hell, fuck yes. It's safer. But is it safe proof? No. Because crime was happening out there. But I had a Gun Freak Nation member reach out to me. He was doing deliveries and shit, you know. I'm not gonna tell the brothers, you know, business. But he was like, yeah, I gotta you know, I don't usually do this, but I got a special delivery down there in Detroit, man, I'm gonna make sure once I'm down there in Detroit that I'm gonna be, savage ready. I'm gonna, have my head on a swivel. I'm gonna be extra cautious. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing. But brother, you gotta have that same energy wherever you at, even in the suburbs. You got to have that energy. Hell, you got to have that same energy even in your own fucking house. Even while you at home, you got to have that same type of energy because it can go down any place, anywhere, at any time. And I'm not talking about that damn Janet Jackson song. Shit is real out here. Everything is going up, man. Trump done fucked it up. Now, I don't have about 45 people unsubscribe from me because they didn't like that I had bad things to say about our president. I say good riddance. If you that weak of a person that you don't even, you can't even be a free thinker and think for yourself, I don't know what to tell you. You sheep being led to the slaughterhouse. This guy, it's his second term. He know he cannot run for president no more, so he don't give a fuck. He doing whatever the fuck he wants to do. He's playing like the new world order, and that's what it seems like. That's what everything is shaping up to be, the new world order. And he wants to shit on every other country that don't agree with him or Israel. Now Trump is an asshole. He's an arrogant asshole. That's one of the things that I liked about him. You know what I'm saying? Because he crazy like a fucking fox. That's one of the things I'm talking about. I liked the Trump even before the nigga became president. Looked up to the nigga. He had the finest bitches, finest hoes. You know what I'm saying? Money. I mean, what else? But even when you're a rich motherfucker, money ain't even good enough for you. It's about power. He's a power-hungry motherfucker. No, who does this shit? He let the Iranians play him. Iranians, man, they making like $2 million per ship that they let sail through the Strait of Hormuz, when it should have been called her pussy instead of Hormuz, because everybody want to run through that motherfucker. So they should name the Strait of Hormuz her pussy, because everybody want to run up through it. Well, Iran is charging a toll fee now of $2 million, and they'll let you come through there and they won't sink your ship. So Trump, like everybody, damn, man, the Iranians is actually benefiting off of this shit, making money off of this shit. So you know what the fuck this arrogant ass Trump gonna do? Man, this nigga, this shit cracked me the fuck up. This nigga Trump said, since you want to close the Strait of Hormuz down and start charging motherfuckers a fee of $2 million to enter into that bitch, guess what? We about to put our own motherfucking blockade up, nigga. So how the fuck you gonna blockade a fucking blockade? That's what that nigga Trump. I know you a fucking businessman, so I guess Trump gonna start charging motherfuckers $4 million. Then Iranians gonna charge the motherfuckers $2 million. Trump is like, motherfuckers, y'all ain't about to outdo me. So this nigga don't set up a blockade to blockade the blockade. You can't make this shit up, man. You cannot make this shit up, But I'm venturing off the topic at hand. What I need y'all to understand is that no matter what happens, because a lot of people is saying, oh man, it's the end times. We living in the days of revelations. It's about to be Armageddon, and this shit about to trigger some shit, because now they're saying that the intel suggests that China is arming Iran, giving them anti-aircraft radar systems, air defense systems, weapons, and the United States that's not sitting well with the United States. But however, the United States didn't have a problem arming the Ukraine against Russia. They gave Ukraine Patriot anti-missile defense systems, radars, weapons, all kind of shit. So it's like we getting a taste. Well, not us, but the government getting a taste of their own medicine. What they done. See, the thing of it is that the United States can go around and do whatever they want to. They at least they think they can, and want other countries to bow down to them. But when somebody challenges them and not refusing to bow down to them, they got a problem with that. Or if another country do the same shit that we did for another country to help another country, they got a problem with it. And it's just it don't make sense. It's just arrogance, and it's about being a bully. Everybody is not going to always see it your way and agree with you. So why go to war? Now I understand we're not going to allow you to have nuclear weapons. It's just that simple. I get it. And they was like 2 days away from, I've been hearing that shit. I'm so fucking tired of hearing that bullshit. I've been hearing that shit for the last 20 years, damn it, that they was 2 days away from getting a fucking nuclear, bomb. It's some shit that this administration is doing. Don't sit well with me. I don't like the fact that they can just label you a terrorist or a narco terrorist, and just like that, within seconds of them profiling you as that, they can kill you. And nothing can be done about that. I often think about all those fishermen that they blew up over there in Venezuela when they was on them boats and shit, and they said it was drug boats. We never saw any proof. We never saw any drugs. We don't know who was on that boat. We don't know whether the people that was on there was under duress. Their families back in Venezuela could have been threatened. Hey man, if you don't haul these drugs, we don't even know if it was really drugs on there. But the incident that really fired me up and made me question my own spirituality and morality was the incident where they blew up. They struck a boat, and it was 2 men that survived it initially. The initial strike, they survived it. They played God for about an hour, watching those 2 men fight for their life, grabbing and holding on to debris, trying to stay afloat. Then the order came down, take them out. That was a shipwreck. That's a war crime. You got 2 unarmed individuals that's clinging on to debris, and the order was given to fire another missile an hour later after these guys. I said, man, when I saw that, I said, nah, something ain't right about that. Something fundamentally is not right about that. That's something, morally you don't do. You know what I'm saying? At least in this country. But then again, this is the same country that dropped the atomic bomb on, Japan. And hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people died doing that. We got nuclear weapons. A lot of countries got them, but this is the only country that ever, used them on a population, man. And I can understand why somebody, another country, would want to have a nuclear weapon because that's their insurance, man. That's the insurance for, knowing that you ain't got to worry about nobody fucking with you. And maybe that's the reason why Iran really wanted one, because look what's to prevent what's happening to them right now. You know, we living in a crazy, wicked world where you can be here 1 minute and in the next minute you on your you on the ground taking your last breath saying, how in the fuck did this happen to me? You never want to find yourself in that situation, man. You never want to let a savage get the drop on you, whether you out in the world or whether you are in the comfort of your own home. I can give you stories, man. The first home invasion that I can remember that date back to the 80s when I was a child. Bobby Bogart. That was the first, as far as my memory goes back, like the first, recollection goes to him. Bobby Bogart, man. And, Bobby Bogart was a drug dealer. He sold drugs. I remember him. He was a cool ass dude, man. I used to see him. But even more, I used to look, Lil T was Freaky T back then because I took notice of Bobby Bogart's woman. He had a badass woman. When I say, man, ass for days, and I ain't even no ass nigga. You hear me? I ain't even no ass nigga. I love, titties. You know what I'm saying? But she had them too, big titties, beautiful, beautiful face. Okay. I guess, women are always attracted to the so-called bad guy, and they want the money, the nigga that got the money. So, he's pretty big, man. But his choice and how he made his money caught up to him. And it must have been somebody he knew, because I remember them saying there wasn't no forced entry on his house. But they went up in there, savages went up in there, and they pretty much tortured the man. And they did horrible things to that man's woman. All I know is that they did what they did. They took him down into the basement and tied him up to the pole, to those beams, tied them up and put, grocery bags over their heads. And they, pretty much executed them people. And I remember the day when I saw all of the police cars and the whole street was blocked off. It was the yellow crime scene tape was put up. And I remember standing on my front porch, and, Bobby Bogart stayed like 2 houses down from where I lived. And I remember them, bringing out their bodies and shit, man. And I just felt, it was fucked up. So the importance of people being able to protect themselves and be savvy enough to be armed and, you know, be prepared for anything, home invasion or not, you got to be prepared. That shit sunk into my brain even when I was a child. It's just the neighborhood, the violent neighborhood I grew up in, we grew up in, you feel me? At the time, I didn't know it, but looking back on it now as a grown ass man, I'm like, damn, man, I guess that's the best we could do, because that neighborhood was violent as fuck. I mean, it was murders committed all around that neighborhood, a block over, a block down the street, 2 blocks away, 3 blocks away, right up the street. It was just real violent, and to even, compared to the days that we are living in now, them days wasn't shit. It was just 2 kids one 17-year-old and one 14-year-old was killed yesterday in Flint, Michigan. The 17-year-old ran up on somebody's porch, banging on the door, begging them to let him in. Because I saw this shit on the news. I need to play the story if I can find it. I need to play it. But the guy, he didn't open the door. He was being smart. He was like, I can't let you in, but I will call the police. So he was like, please call the police. And he laid down on the porch, on that guy's porch, and he died. When the police got there, they found him, rushed him to the hospital. He died at the hospital. And then they traced blood. They traced the one that collapsed on the front porch. They traced his blood. He had left a trail of blood. Once when they trailed that blood, they tracked that blood to another house, a vacant house, to the backyard. And that's where they found the 14-year-old dead, laying down in the backyard. And they found a gun. So we don't know how it played out. We don't know whether they shot each other. We don't know. I don't know shit. I'm gonna have to keep y'all updated on that. That would have been the perfect, unfortunate, that would have made the Savage Ready TV when me and First Lady was doing Savage Ready TV, and we probably gonna bring it back soon. But life is what it is. And when you realize that you living in a life that's not fair, and it's got mean, crazy, evil, wicked people living in it. It's got people that don't have a problem solving their issues with a gun or trying to intimidate you with a gun. You just never know who you're going to bump in today. You never know who you're going to encounter. So I need y'all to just hear me out for a second, because each and every one of y'all in here is very important to me, because you're giving me your time, man. Time that you can't get back. Y'all understand that? You can never get time back. You can never get time back. So you choosing your precious time, hearing me out. I'm not a Mr. Know-it-all and none of that. I will not profess to that, because it would be a lie. And a lot of y'all have blessed me and educated me on some shit that I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? This is why I got nothing but love and respect for each and every one of y'all, using y'all precious time to watch me when y'all could be doing a million and, billion other things. So I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to y'all, I appreciate it. I want each and every one of y'all to be safe. I need each and every one of y'all, and I got to practice what I preach, is to humble. I'm not saying no disrespect. What I meant by is stay humble, even when the devil is in your face, even when the devil is trying to provoke you, even when the devil is cussing you out, even when the devil is talking reckless to you. Don't fall for don't let them get you upset. Don't let them break your cool, man. If my nephew was here, that's one thing. We talked about many, many things, man. We talked about the situation at that gas station where it was a savage went up in the gas station, and he had got like $4 worth of shit. And he was trying to pay for it off of a debit card, but the debit card wasn't going through. So the clerk was trying to put him out, told him he had to leave and put he had got an Arizona, a honey bun, and something else. It all added up. I think a bag of chips. I think it all added up to like $4, right? And this is no bullshit. This happened maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It was also 3 other men in that gas station that didn't have shit to do with nothing. They was just in there. So he going back and forth with the clerk. The clerk decides to lock the door. You know, at the gas stations, they can push a button and that door gonna lock. So the clerk locked him in there and was like, "I'm gonna call the police," you know, because he was trying to take the food, the $4 worth of food. The savage gonna say, "Well, if you don't open this door, if you don't unlock the door, I'm gonna shoot every motherfucker up in here. I'm gonna shoot everybody up in here." Which he began to put out his gun and go to shooting the innocent people that didn't have nothing to do with it. And one guy was killed. The other two got injured. And one of the men was like 70 years old. He shot him too. And that's why I told my nephew, I said, look, man, this is the perfect example of why you should have your CPL, which is a concealed pistol license, where you can carry, because had that been me in that gas station and that motherfucker gonna make a threat like that and he then pulls a gun, oh, I was gonna light his ass up. I was gonna light his ass up, you know. So I talked to him about that, but the reason why I bring him up is because, you know, he's no longer here due to gun violence. He let it was a situation where he got killed at his own sister's birthday party. She had rented out a cabaret hall, and a friend of his, who he called his brother, so-called brother, invited some niggas that came to the party and started some shit. And when they was told to leave, they refused to leave. And my nephew let them niggas get under his skin. It was words being said. And when he told them to leave and they didn't leave, he pulled his gun and had it at the low ready, meaning he dropped it to his side. And that's where he fucked up. And he paid for that mistake with his life. Because the nigga that he wasn't arguing with, it was a nigga that was standing off to the side that happened to be the brother of the nigga that was going back and forth with my nephew. He the one that shot him 7 times. 7 times. And he gone like that. And nobody, you know, went to jail because it was self-defense. You know, here in Michigan, we have something called stand your ground. So I want to, you know, to everybody in this bitch tonight, the reason why I said stay humble is don't let nobody get you out of character to the point to where you ready to pull your shit. Don't be one of those type of people, man. Because the minute that you do, somebody that ain't even got nothing to do with the situation can pull their gun and kill you and get away with it because they can say they was in fear of their life. So don't let the devil bring you down to his level, man. This is why I always say, if you ever find yourself in a heated, you know, hostile situation, an encounter with somebody you don't know, or even if you do know them, and if you got some kind of escape route where you can just get the fuck on and go on about your business, go on about your business. Because the more you entertain that bullshit, the more chance that shit can escalate, and you may have to put somebody down or they're going to put you down. So the best way to deal with the devil is don't deal with them at all. But in some situations, you don't have a choice, and you got to do what you got to do to put that fucking threat down. You know, you got to do what you got to do to put the threat down, man. A lot of people that should still be here is no longer here because fuck shit like that happening. You know what I'm saying? Or they just wasn't Savage ready. Savage got the drop on them. Life is so precious. You got to understand, you never take life for granted. Treat everybody like it's gonna be your last time, you know, seeing them. You know what I'm saying? And treat people like you want to be treated. But I am telling you, You got motherfuckers like it's hard to do. We only human, right? Um, we had a situation that happened in my city like a week or two ago, where it was a guy that went to the restroom, right? It was some niggas in there, right? I'm gonna say niggas. It was some niggas in there, Detroit niggas. One of the niggas walked up to this guy and said, "I'm gonna beat your ass. You better answer this question correctly. What's on 8 Mile and Gratiot?" Everybody know that's like the east side of Detroit, right? The guy hesitated. So the guy grabbed his arm and was like, "Nigga, what's on 8 Mile and Gratiot?" The guy hesitated again, and he just did this and just knocked the motherfucker out cold, knocked him out. This is the type of nigga shit, ignorant shit that we, Gun Freak Nation, gotta deal with. And when I say nigga shit, I'm talking about black, white, and every mother in between. This guy didn't know him or nothing. Number one, well, I'm gonna say where the guy, the victim, made a mistake. Nigga, I don't give a fuck if you walked in that bathroom, you saw the type of thug niggas these niggas was. You should have left your ass and out and just went in the alley and took a piss or whatever, unless you had to shit. I don't know. Number two, you don't let nobody get up in your personal space like that. I wish I could find the video, man, and show it to you. It's on YouTube. The shit went viral. Number three, you not gonna put your hands on me and by grabbing me. Nigga, I would have knocked your ass the fuck out. The minute that you grabbed my arm, I would have knocked your motherfuckers. Cause T, don't be fooled because I got guns. These some guns too. Some lethal ass motherfucking guns at that. So I would have knocked that nigga straight out. Okay? But the reason why I'm sharing this true story with you is because y'all might have some of them ignorant ass niggas like that come for you. Now, I done told y'all, you ain't got to go looking for trouble. Trouble will come looking for you. And when it finds you, you got to know how to handle it accordingly. Now, if that shit would have been me, I don't know. I might have would have lost my fucking temper and shot his ass. I'm just saying. This is why I say I got to practice what I preach, nigga. Because if you the minute that you grabbing my fucking arm and not letting me leave, that's kidnap at that point. You holding me hostage at that point, so I gotta react to that shit. I wish I could find that fucking video, man. Hold on, man. I'm gonna see, can I find this video? Let me see something right quick. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna see, can I find the fucking video? Because the shit went viral, man. The shit went viral. You got, just to know this, man, you got ignorant people like that. I don't even like to call them people. Ignorant savages like that. Let me see. Detroit man slapped in the face, punched in the face for not knowing where 8 Mile and Gratiot was located or what's on it. Let me see, can I find it, y'all?
Detroit man slapped in the face, punched in the face for not knowing where 8 Mile and Gratiot was located.
I ain't even seeing the fucking video. Wait a minute, hold on. This might be it right here. Let me see. Hold on. No, this ain't it. This ain't the video. Yeah, man, but Savage has been, wilding out. I guess YouTube took the video down because I saw it for the first time yesterday, which means it should be in my damn history. But I don't, I ain't trying to bore you. It'll take me, I watch so much YouTube and shit, it'll take me days to probably find that motherfucker. Let me see. Anyway, man, I just need y'all to be safe out there, man. Keep your head on a swivel at all times. They found another skull in Detroit too today. A neighbor bought a house and they was getting ready to put a fence up in the field that was next to the vacant house that they bought. And when they was digging the hole to put the new fence up, a skull, man, they uncovered a fucking skull. So that was all on the news. It's never a dull moment in Detroit. You feel me? And I got a feeling that this summer gonna be even bloodier than last summer. Now here go the one I think with the two.
Return to horror and heartbreak in Inkster after two teenagers were found shot to death Sunday morning.
Two families are now left with unimaginable loss and unanswered
questions
as they're forced to mourn two young lives.
Police say that they first found a 17-year-old boy with gunshot wounds on Penn Street near Inkster Road and Michigan Avenue. He was pronounced dead at the hospital.
17 years old.
Followed a blood trail that led them to another victim, just 15 years old.
7 News Detroit reporter Ryan Marshall is highlighting the fears of neighbors and finds out where the investigation is standing this morning.
Well, right now, no one's been arrested, but police are actively investigating what happened, desperately trying to reconstruct the events.
Anyway, last I checked, they ain't caught nobody for it, and they don't know whether they shot each other. We don't know that yet. I'm still trying to find the video with the dude did the slap, man. I'm just letting y'all know it's just ignorant motherfuckers that's out there that will try you. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, y'all got to be ready. Damn, I can't find the video, y'all. I want to find that video. I promise you next time when I go live, I'm going to go back into my history and I'm already had that video set up because I can't find. Yeah, it's a million motherfucking videos. I'm scrolling through right now. And yeah, fuck it. I'll do it last time, but I'll do it the next time. I mean, but anyway, y'all, keep them. Keep your loved ones. You said it was a serial killer attorney in New Jersey. Damn, man, it's evil is everywhere, and this is why you must keep your loved ones close. But keep them Funky Town senders even closer. Okay? Keep them Funky Town senders even closer because that's what's going to save you at the end of the day. Will at least give you a fighting chance. And if you are savage ready, truly savage ready, it will save your life. Because you're going to be able to identify that shit before it even get to your front door. You're going, your cameras and all that shit, and you just got to be ready. Every time when I go out, I'm constantly, scanning for potential threats. We talking calls. All right, check out the dude at 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock over there. You know what I'm saying? 7:30. Check this one out at 9:45. You know what I'm saying? Anybody get close to me, I'm gonna be ready to. I'm gonna have my finger gonna be on the trigger. You know what I'm saying? And if you make any certain move, and I see, it ain't about you making any certain move, but if I see you about to pull out a weapon, you're giving me no choice, man. I don't never want to be in a situation where I gotta take somebody's life, but I take my life serious and I love my life, and I must protect my life, and I must protect my loved ones' lives. Because you got to understand that once your time is up, whether it be natural causes or the cause from, the savage attacking you, You got to protect your life or try to be here on this earth as long as you can. Oh shit, I ain't gonna be able to do this live. Lucky is out and Lil Black is out, and I locked them up in the basement. Somebody don't let their asses out, so I'm gonna have to put them back down there and probably restart this live up. You feel me? Oh yeah. Did you hear about the other serial killer in New York, Gilmore Beach? Man, that crazy motherfucker, he was killing prostitutes from left and right, man. And got away with it for years. All of them weren't prostitutes. So we got all kind of sick, disgusting, evil, wicked, corrupt, soul bankrupt entities out here. They demons. They're savages. It's people out there right now in your neighborhood that don't have a problem coming up in your house, doing all kind of, crazy shit to you, harming you and your family. You don't want that shit to happen. So guess what? If you don't want that shit to happen, then make sure, don't make it easy for them. Lock your doors. Reinforce your windows and your doors. In your personal bedroom, put a lock on your bedroom door. Reinforce that. Come up with some type of contingency plan. If you do have family members or, your family, you got children, come up with a contingency plan where, listen, if the shit hit the fan, an emergency, if we have an emergency in the case of a home invasion, meet at X, Y, Z. If you can't get to X, then get to Y. If you can't get to Y, then get to Z. Or get to W. You know what I'm saying? Come up, but if you can't get to those safe that we deem gonna be the safe area, our final stand, then you get down low, get underneath your bed, go in your closet, lay down on the closet floor, and cover your ears, because just know this, that your dad is about to unleash hell on earth, because somebody is coming in to take our lives. That's what you got to anticipate and assume. Don't think that they just coming up in there just to, to tie you up, maybe, rough you up a little bit and then tie you up and, and ransack your house and take your valuables. It don't happen like that. That's in the 70s and early 80s. And even then they was coming in and doing crazy shit. Don't think it's going to be like that. Home invasions nowadays is not robbing you of your actual material shit. Is actually nowadays, nowadays it's an afterthought. They're coming in for you. They're coming in for you. They get off on. I call it the God mode. Anytime when somebody got a gun to your head and you're down on your knees begging and pleading, and it's up to them whether you live or you die. That's God mode. Because you don't gave them that power, because you took away your own superhero powers by not owning a gun. Well, I don't need no gun. I got this bat, you know what I'm saying? I put a sock on it. That way, if they try to grab the bat, they gonna, grab the sock off, and I'm gonna use that opportunity to sock them upside their head. You got people that actually think like that. I ain't making that shit up. Oh, I got me a can of mace. You know what I'm saying? They come up in here, I'm gonna mace them in the eyes. You know what I'm saying? I got this tear gas. I got a knife. You know what I'm saying? oh, I got this old stick that we don't had for 72 years that's been passed down the family. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the funky ass savage, with this fancy ass ancestral stick that we got. Make it make sense. None of that shit with a group of savages that's well armed with body armor on, AR-15 pistols, Dracos, Glocks with the switches, extendos, and you think you got a chance. Hell, man, if it's just one of you and you only got a handgun, you still gonna be at a disadvantage. And this is what go back to what I said. You need to have a handgun, the AR pistol or AR rifle or shotgun, depending on your living situation, right? Because I don't give a damn if it's 20 of them with AR-15s. You having an AR-15 with that 30 round mag, 30 round. Okay, they got 40 round mags. They even got the 60 round drum mag pool. I trust that one. That Pro Mag, that was some bullshit. That's say that shit for the range. And that's if it worked. But I don't even recommend y'all using a drum because something could happen. Use that 30 round mag. That should be more than enough. You don't want anything less than that because that's why I don't tell people to get revolvers unless you absolutely know what the fuck you're doing, a speed loader type motherfucker. Because you don't want to be facing down multiple savages with ARs, AKs, and Glocks, and you only got 6 bullets, 6 rounds. You can't yell out, time out, let me reload. No. You never want to be put in a situation where you got the disadvantage. You at a disadvantage. You always, in a shit hit the fan situation, you want to be the one with the advantage. So having that AR or that AK, you're going to have 30 rounds to light they stinking asses up. And I guarantee you, it's gonna sound like Iran. And but a lot of people like, yeah, you want your shit to go bang so your neighbors can call the police and shit. You want to wake the whole neighborhood up. You know what I'm saying? You want to wake that whole neighborhood. Man, I live in a neighborhood and been in neighborhoods where nigga, you can be getting murdered. You could be getting chased down the street, butt booty naked and stabbed to death, and ain't nobody gonna give a damn. Ain't nobody gonna call the police. Matter of fact, I got a true story to tell y'all. when we moved over there at that house over there on Wyoming and Maple Line, the neighborhood was kind of shiesty. And I was staying with my parents then, and I remember when we moved in, well, I'm gonna tell you how the neighbors were dirty because when we moved in the house, when we went to go look at it, we went to look at it like 3 or 4 times before we decided before Pops and them, my parents decided to get it. So once when we moved in that bitch, somebody was trying to talk to my sister Rhonda and shit. They was trying to some nigga, and she didn't pay the nigga no attention. So the nigga was like, well, by the way, new neighbor, it was 2 women got killed in that house y'all just moved in. They got killed. I said, why this motherfucker want to tell us this shit now? That nigga probably just making it up. So we had an apartment building that was next door. They was like, hey, somebody, 2 women got killed in their house. And, I hear a bit of a story and then somebody else will tell me. But one thing the story had in common was it was 2 women that was killed in the house that I'm living in. So I remember going across the street to the store. It was a party store across the street. And the guy that worked behind the counter, the cashier, he was like, yeah, man, it was 2 women got beat to death in that house. I'm like, shit. I said, it's got to be true. Too many people saying it. Even though it's different stories, but the one common denominator is 2 women was killed. So I remember one time, you know, I had my niece, you know, my niece was over and she was going through that stage where they want to be all rebellious and shit, you know, when they rebel up, you know, against the parent, against my sister and all that shit. And she had ran away from home. And I remember my mom, she called the police and they actually went out, you know, looking for her. And they found her and the police gave my mom and my niece a ride back home. And when the police drove up to the house, the police was like, hey, miss, did you know that 2 women was killed in that house there that you living in now? And my mom was like, shit, you know, the neighbors been saying that. And I'm out there listening to it. The cop was like, yeah, I was one of the police, the first on the scene to guard the crime scene. So he began to tell me the story. He said that it was an altercation that happened in the upstairs bathroom. And that I used to wonder what was these marks around my parents' door frame. It was marks, like indentation marks and shit. So when the cop said it started in the upstairs bathroom, because they said it was blood and just it was a mess. She ran from the bathroom and ran across the hall to the bedroom and locked the door. He took a fucking golf club, because that's one of the neighbors, a couple of neighbors said they watched the shit. The nigga did it with a golf club. And I know he's not lying, because around the door frame of my parents' bedroom, you can see the indentation marks where he was hitting the door and the frame to try to bust in there with his savage ass. And the neighbor told me the reason why he did what he did was because his woman cheated on him with another woman. So he caught them. He came home early and caught them. And I don't know how you beat to death 2 people, but they said the other one had ran out the house and ran across the street to the field. He caught her, beat her to death right there in the field. And we had neighbors looking at this shit. Not one of those bastards even attempted to call the police. And if they did do it, it was already too late. So after he did what he did with the first one that ran into my future parents' bedroom, he dragged her downstairs and dragged her in the basement, because the cop was like, it was blood and hair reeve all over the place, all over the staircase. And he dragged her in the basement and finished her off. And guess where my room was at? The fucking basement. But not one time did I ever let it scare me. Because I said, if they was to come back, why would they want to fuck with me? Why would they want to hunt me? They gonna get the motherfucker that did it to them. They caught the nigga that did it. But yeah, man, so many people could still be here, but because they wasn't ready, didn't have a gun. And let me express this. It's not about having a gun. Having a gun could still get you killed. That's why my nephew at 32 years old, he wasn't even 32 a whole month. He died with his gun in his hand. So having a gun, it gives you that chance to fight back. But if you don't be armed and and ready up here and savage ready up here, it's we talking about military mind games. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta have that mind set. You almost got to be to the point to where you are tuned in to like whatever situation you may find yourself in today, right now, tomorrow, next week. You got to damn near project in your mind what the outcome may be. This shit could go left. This shit, something negative could happen where it could get violent, it could escalate, or whatever situation you're in. You always got to have that in the back of your mind. And I know a lot of people, oh damn, T, you sound like you paranoid. Like, no, it's not about being paranoid. It's about accepting the world that we live in. You know what I'm saying? It's people out there right now that wouldn't have a problem taking me out and getting, so they can take my guns and whatever else that they feel that they want. It's true savages out here that don't have a problem. You don't want to be that man that they you answer your door because they fool you and they trick you, and then they get you, and then they pistol whip you, and then they got you down on your knees begging for your life. And what make it even worse, you can hear them what they doing to your wife or your girlfriend, because that's what home invasions are about nowadays. You are the they want you. You is what they came in for. You is the precious item that they want dominion over. Man, so many people have hit me up over the years that's been real victims of home invasions, victims to home invaders. And one man was like, his marriage fell apart because his wife pretty much blamed him because she was sexually assaulted. She was raped. And he couldn't do nothing about it because he didn't have a gun to even fight back. And people have reached out to me and told me stories where they did have guns, but they couldn't get to their gun in time because he said it happened so fast. They was on him, man. He was like, T, President T. And I was like, call me no president. It's like, they was on me, man. I was trying my best to get to them, but they was on me. And this is why I say I'm not against people that have guns throughout their home. Because if you got one all the way upstairs or in your bedroom, you keep it at a certain location, you might be at this part, the back, somewhere far away in your house. But if somebody kicked that goddamn door in, how you gonna get to it in time? So it makes sense for, to each his own. I get it. If you got little ones running around, you got little children there, that's a whole different scenario. You're not gonna want guns just laying around. That's irresponsible. And I would never support that. Ever. I can't do it. So you just gotta, my best bet is get you a holster and have it holstered to you. And that way if somebody, knock at your door and you might think they legit or whatever, you can, talk to them through the door or whatnot. You won't be shot like Roger Fortsman, like the pussy ass cop in Florida, because he opened the door with a gun in his hand, the pussy ass cop, and he's being brought up on charges for that. You ain't got to worry about that because you got it holstered. That's the safe thing about having a gun holstered to you. Shit can happen just like that, and you need to respond just like that. But yeah, home invasions, it will never stop. It's going to always happen. Matter of fact, since this live, it's probably been about 20 home invasions somewhere across this country, including my city, that's happening right now or already done happened. So you got to be ready at all times. You right, Brandon Anderson. Get that Funky Town sender. Man, if I didn't have a Funky Town sender, and this is not about being a punk or being afraid or scared or anything, it is, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. If I didn't have my guns, my Funky Town senders, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night because I'm constantly going to be thinking at any second somebody going to kick in my door or something going to happen. Somebody going to try me. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I remember a couple of years ago, it was a couple of prisoners that escaped, and they was in a community, and they was breaking in people's garages and shit, and they broke in somebody's house. And the guy that, suburban couple and shit, nice cozy ass crib and shit, he didn't have a gun. He had a wife and two daughters. Did not have a gun. He said he heard the inmate, the savage, in his kitchen. Nigga probably hungry. He was in his kitchen. He said he went to confront, and he grabbed a picture that was framed on the wall. He grabbed the picture, and that was his weapon. I think he said he threw it at the guy. The savage ran. I said, I'm thinking in my mind. I said, you one lucky motherfucker. You one lucky motherfucker. You better be glad that savage wasn't a real murderer, because you wouldn't be here right now. And you should learn from this and go out there and get you a gun. Because if that savage was truly violent, truly a murderer, he wouldn't be here, and nor would his family be here. And for all my religious people out there that's watching, I love y'all too, man. A lot of y'all done jumped ship, got mad at me because I was talking about Trump, and talking about, got mad at me because I was saying religion ain't got shit to do with God, and y'all niggas got in y'all feelings. Well, I'm going to say it again. Praying is not going to pray the devil away. Praying is not going to, make that savage go away. If they gain entry into your house and they coming in, do you think because you grabbing your Bible and reading some scriptures that it's supposed to make the savage change his mind? Or it's supposed to be like, he's supposed to turn around and run? Didn't we have people get gunned down by a white racist at that church in North Carolina or something like that? South Carolina, North Carolina. And they said them niggas, they said the black folks was up in that historic black church. They treated them so damn well. The savage said, the white racist savage said for a minute, he even had second thoughts about doing what he was going to do to him. But the devil, he was too consumed in hate. And that motherfucker pulled out that gun. The people in that basement, black folks. I heard that they was begging and pleading and praying, and think about this shit, man. This is in the church. Okay? This took place in a church. So for all my people that be like, God got me, I'm covered in the blood of Jesus, would you not think that that situation would have been the perfect example for something divine to come and interrupt the devil's mission. Do y'all think that that would have been the perfect time for that, right? But it didn't happen. You know why it didn't happen? Because nobody was savage ready. Nobody had the wherewithal to be armed. The church didn't even think about having armed security. If just one person at that church would have been armed, it would have made a difference. It ain't about being armed, but armed and knowing what to do. It would have made a difference. When that fool, that demon went in that grocery store in Buffalo, New York, that Tops grocery store, and did what he did to all those elderly black women. He had an AR-15 body armor. We had a hero guard that got a shot off, and the shot hit, but the motherfucker had on body armor. So all he did was basically give up his location, and he gunned that guard down. God bless his soul. He had a gun. You see where I'm coming at? It's different levels to this shit when you're dealing with these devilish savages. And they come in all colors, in all shapes and forms. They're like transformers, devils in disguise. So you got to know, you got to be tactical when it comes to dealing with the devil, man. I told y'all before, and I'll tell you again. You see any savage that look like he wearing some sort of tactical vest, some type of tactical vest, you got to automatically assume that he's got on body armor. So therefore, don't even waste your first bullet because it ain't going to be effective on him. It's only going to piss him off. You're only going to give up your location. He's then going to know that you're going to have a gun, and you're going to be the primary target because he want to get you out the way so he can finish his devil's work. You feel me? So I'm telling y'all, if y'all ever in a situation where you got an active shooter or shooters and them motherfuckers look like they got on tactical vests, then you must assume that they got on body armor. Do not waste your first shot on trying to hit them center mass because it's only going to make it worse for you. So I say, if you're a good shot, it's all about timing. And it's all about shock and awe, surprising the motherfucker. Don't let nobody know you got a gun. Okay? Act like you're screaming and you're about to shit on yourself. You're so scared. Anyway, in a situation like that, me, I'm going for the face. I'm going for the dick and balls. And I'm going for that left thigh, which is full of all the juicy arteries where a motherfucker bleed out in 2-3 minutes. You've been saying the funky time. You want to put the threat down. I know first instinct is only natural to aim center mass. But if he got on that vest, 9 out of 10, because you got to look at it from their evil perspective. They're trying to unalive as many people as they can. They know at some point they will be confronted by somebody with a gun, more than likely the police. So they come prepared with body armor on. Most of them is pussies, just like the racist nigga that did the shit at the grocery store at the Tops grocery store in Buffalo, New York. He gave up as soon as he was confronted by equal firepower. What did he do? Fall to his knees and gave up. But when he went to go do the work of the devil, gunning all those people down, he put on a fucking vest which told me he was scared to die. And he didn't want to die like he was dishing it out to the victims. He had the nerve to give up because he was a pussy. He didn't want to take he didn't want to take in what he was dishing out. I want to say this. In fact, this goes out to all other people that say you should have a suppressor. I'm not the suppressor or anti-suppressor. I only can give you my personal thoughts on it and where I think they just bullshit and not practical. And I know I'm about to piss a lot of y'all out. Bear with me. I'm only human. The number one thing people walk up and tell me why I need a suppressor is during a home invasion. You don't have to worry about blowing your eardrums out, blowing your ears out with your AR or whatever gun that you have. That's the number one reason. When I'm like, so my rebuttal to that, my rebuttal to that will always be, well, my ears would be safe, you know, from my gun, but what about the savage or savages' guns? So more than likely, let's keep it funky. Let's keep it all the way funky. More than likely, what's the odds of savages breaking in your house, pulling the home invasion, and they got suppressors? It can happen because they could have broken somebody's house and took their suppressor. It can happen, but it's a good chance them niggas ain't gonna have no suppressor. Them savages not gonna have no suppressors on their guns. So you're damned if you do, and damned if you don't. You know what's gonna help your ears? By having some electronic ear pros that only cost $40 to $60 for a good pair of electronic ear pros. Remember to throw them, and I get it. And the shit hit the fan. Who the fuck wants to put ear pros on? I'm trying to get to the threat to put the threat down. And when you're in a high tense situation like that, you're not even worried about your ears being fucked up. You know, because you amped up, you got your adrenaline rush, you actually want to hear the sound of the righteous thunder ring out from your gun to put the wicked savage to Funky Town, to send the wicked savage to Funky Town. You're going to get a pleasure out of that. But I get it. It's some shit that happened, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say a few years back that I did when I was first getting into guns, and I discharged one. And I had, see, I'm saying too much now, but I discharged a ZPAP 92. And I was walking up the staircase, which is this fucking narrow. So when that motherfucker went off, and thank God, man, I'm walking up the steps. Thank God my feet, I didn't, shoot my feet off. But the sound, the concussion from bouncing off the walls, it froze me up. And for a minute, all I can hear was bing. That's all I can hear was bing. And I'm like, what the fuck? Am I deaf? But then my hearing came back. So trust me, them motherfuckers is loud. And when I accidentally discharged mine in the worst possible place where you could find, going up a staircase, that's the worst area that you could shoot a gun. Trust me, I learned my mistake. I learned the hard way. This is why I highly suggest you keep some ear pros and even get them for your family. Have them have some ear pros. Have them be like, if it's a shit hit the fan, throw these ear pros on, get underneath that bed, lay down in the closet, or cover your ears. and lay down. Daddy about to go to work. So I don't think you need them other than the cool factor of having a suppressor. To me, they're pointless. Every time you see someone shooting one, what do they have on, y'all? Ear probes. So if they that fucking silent, why the fuck you still gotta wear ear probes? Then when you go to the range, guess what? You still gotta have ear probes because the other motherfuckers in there that don't have suppressors on their guns. And then I'm hearing from people that own them, oh, they just funk up your gun, they gunk up your gun, they dirty up your gun, they make your gun inaccurate. I mean, what's the point? And then the prices. I think y'all being ripped off. I got my brother AR American made him a homemade. Let me not say shit because YouTube for $75, and this shit worked just as good as a one that would be $800, $900, $1,200. Why do they cost so freaking much, man? People listen. A suppressor shouldn't be no more than $40, $50, $75, $100. That's another reason why I haven't bought into it because I'm thinking, damn, they want $900. Man, I can go to BCA or PSA or what Palmetto State Army. Yeah, I can buy 2 or 3 guns for $900. Why I want something that I still got to put on ear probes and what I need that for? And what if the savages come in and start shooting at me first? My ears is gonna be fucked one way or the other. Make it make sense. So that's why your boy T hasn't gotten a suppressor. I mean, no, I'm not hating on you or nothing like that. It's just my personal opinion. Okay, you said New York outlawed people from getting bulletproof vests after the New York grocery store massacre. It ain't. Guess what? They out there, man. They're out there. And it's fucked up that New York did that. Trust me, New York didn't do it for the savages. They did it for the righteous people. They don't even want y'all to be armed. So don't think that they care enough about you. They'll do anything and use any event to push their agenda and disarming the American people. Okay? Government is not to be trusted. Look how Donald Trump going all around the world, man, invading, just doing all kind of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. He was like, I'm gonna be the bigger asshole. Okay, y'all making $2 million for letting ships come up in there. Well, guess what? I'm gonna blockade the fucking blockade. You're not gonna be a fucking bigger asshole than me. Government not to be trusted. I'm gonna have to put y'all asses back up. I don't know who let y'all out. But yeah, man, you got the I heard about that. It was in the Call of Duty video game where you just use an oil can. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make my motherfucking arm. I'm gonna get me an oil can and screw that motherfucker on my shit. Fuck that. You won't see T paying no 800, 900, 1200. Back window. Is my mic still working? Can y'all hear me? Because it's saying that my mic is not working. Can y'all hear me? Trump is rebuking the Pope. Man, Trump want to be the Pope. That's what it is. Trump don't want nobody bigger than him, man. I just, I don't hate Trump. I just disagree with a lot of the fuck shit that he's been doing lately. I'm just disappointed, man. He promised us the $2,000, tariff checks. Why ain't they talking about that? Huh? You thought we just forgot about that shit that you promised us, Trump? that you was gonna give us $2,000 for a tariff check. Hell, I could have bought me about 4 or 5, Bear Creek arms guns with that, man. Shit, you play with my fucking. Now you ain't got the fucking money now to give to us because you spending it on this stupid ass war that should have never been fought in the first place. Because who in the hell starts a war and you don't have a fucking army to conquer the land? Make it make sense, dumb fuck. But what was gonna happen didn't happen. They thought they was gonna bomb the motherfuckers to the point to where the Iranians that had been out there protesting before the war started, but when the war started, them niggas took their ass home. So Trump, okay, yeah, we bombed them. It's a good time for the people to stand up and take over, overthrow that evil regime. Them niggas didn't do shit. The Iranian army and police was like, y'all motherfuckers bring our asses out here. We gonna turn into a death squad. Okay? And not one nigga went out there in the streets. Not one. Iranian nigga went out there. And so now Trump, like, nah, we don't did this, did that. We don't set shit out. See, I remember the days when you had real military people in power and office that actually knew what the fuck they was doing. It's like Trump fired all of the people that know what the fuck they doing and just put people that's his cronies, that's loyal to him. Because who the fuck starts a war have ground troops to take, the whole ground? You can't do that shit from an airplane 3,000 miles up. You can't take ground and hold ground from the air. Everybody, the dumbest military tacticians know that. But yet, that's what these two fucking idiots did. Trump and that guy who them niggas need their own motherfucking comedy movie, my nigga. They did this dumb shit. And this is why we're at the point we're at now. And, rumor has it that it's thousands of American troops flooding over there. And it ain't being announced because they don't want to tip off Iran. Iran know that shit. Once again, we got, the best of the best going over there. Our military folks. And I'll tell you right now, goddammit. Bullshit that's happening right now. That's not worth you giving up your precious life. I already feel so bad for the 16 that already, passed away, that been, killed during that conflict. Life is just so precious, man. And for this government to just over there, just recklessly send you over there, right into the slaughterhouse, which it should tell you that they don't give a fuck about you. You're supposed to be trying to avoid, or don't let it be the first option. But in this case, that's what it was, the first option. And look where we are at now. It's only so many motherfucking locations you can bomb until you don't bomb everything. I mean, you can't even find new places to bomb. Israel already said they're not putting their boots on the ground. They'll be fighting their fucking war. It's not the great again. It's about making Israel great. And I just can't believe he got suckered. Netanyahu got close to him and stroked his ego. And who knows what else? Back room deal they made or whatever. You just never know. They have to be trusted. It's a reason why all these politicians that just broke, they go to Washington D.C. They broke as fuck, can't even pay off their college bill or whatever, tuition or whatever. But when they leave, these motherfuckers are all multi-millionaires. do you think they getting their money from? They're selling the country. You know what I'm saying? They got these lobbyists that's donate millions for their campaigns, and you got money, man. You got power. And then you got power over people. So you can lobby for shit and flood them with all kind of endless cash. They go whatever that you got to make that shit into law or tilt it to your advantage. That's all this shit is a hustle, a place for money and power. They don't give a fuck. It ain't about a person. They just make America safe again. You should be thanking them. Oh, we are some bullshit, nigga. This is about religious. This is a religious war. This shit is about oil, and it's just plain and simple. It's about power. It's about a bully telling a smaller country, look, motherfucker, we don't want you having a motherfucker nuclear. We will beat your ass. We will annihilate you. We will bomb you back into the Stone Age. We will. It would be the end of civilization in Iran. That's exactly what my words. That's words. And it's all geopolitical and shit, man. But this shit, I'm telling y'all, it can potentially backfire and come back to bite us in our butts for the simple fact we don't know, Russia watching this shit, which I ain't too much worried about them because they can't even knock out little old Ukraine. So but they got over 5,000 nuclear warheads that can destroy this earth, this planet 10 times over. You feel me? You don't never want to have a nuclear winter. Billions of people will die. So now we got China supplying, Russia is supplying Iran. What you expect? We did the same thing. What they doing on us now, we did to them. Still doing to them, supplying Ukraine. So why not get us back? All I'm trying to say is this shit can escalate to a nuclear war. China get involved, Russia get involved. It could be a miscalculation, a misunderstanding. Now I'm hearing that since Trump blockade, China is sending its ships that will be guarded by its warships, man. So if the United States try to board that ship, you got to deal with the Chinese military, and that shit can escalate. I'm starting to think, Trump. I had to think hard about him. Like, you actually playing with my motherfucking life, my livelihood, my life, my family. It's like y'all lives. This shit can go left. You know how long it take a ICBM missile from Russia to 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes to tell your family that you love them. Because it's over. And I don't even think I would want to survive one. Because you're going to starve to death. It would be a horrible rate of this planet would basically be dead. And nobody wants to live on a dead planet. So the world is crazy right now. Not only are we dealing with all this shit that over there, the Epstein war and all that shit, that is never going to get released. But my thing is, why didn't Biden release it? If it's so much, no, I don't really want to get too distracted by that shit, but it's fucked up that they're protecting pedophiles. And I don't want to have no powers or no administration that don't want to release shit because their name might be in it or whatever, man. And it's a cold ass world that we're living in. But I'm gonna jump off this motherfucker. I'm want to say thank you to everybody that, like I said, time is precious, and precious is time. So I want to, give a shout out and salute to everybody that was up in here. You know what I'm saying? Much appreciation to you. You feel me? I appreciate y'all for coming up in this motherfucker. And I plan on doing this shit on the night on the night
Stinky savage, I warned you. Stinky savage, I warned you. We gon'
Do I have to remove myself? I'm out this bitch. I need y'all to stay safe. I need y'all to make a promise to yourself that you ain't gonna let the devil get you tonight, or tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day. I need y'all to stay savage. I don't give a fuck about somebody try to get you out of your character. I can know that they actually smile and laugh and they fucking let it make them even more mad. And in the meantime, walk the fuck away. Walk away from any potential hostage situation. Walk away if you can. But God bless you, and I love you. Y'all stay armed and shit, man. Be the best person. Stay righteous and stay armed, no matter what. Don't give up your, don't give up your gun. That's the gun to be the day that you will need it. Your life will be dependent. Feel me? But anyway, I'm out. I might be back there tonight. Feel me? Much love to the Freak Nation. I appreciate you. I miss that way.
Stinky savage, I warned you. Stinky savage, I warned you. We gon' freak the nation, yeah. We swarm through, talking wild. Now you laying on the ground. 300 blackout, send you straight to Funky Town. Hey, stinky savage, I warned you. Whole block marching when we storm through. Thought his jokes till the metal made a sound. Micro Draco, send your ticket to Funky Town. Big mouth, small spine, all calf, offline. Typing like he 10 feet tall, then you saw that car creep hard hit a wall. Slide slow, painted plates taped up, eyes wide, you ain't really that tough. Whole crew quiet, but the stare too loud. You the loudest online, now you lost in the crowd. Stinky savage, I warned you. We gon' pick the nation, yeah, we swarm through. Talking wild, now you laying on the ground. 300 blackout, send you straight to Funky Town. Oh yeah, stinky savage, I warned you. Whole block marching when we storm through. Thought his jokes till the metal made a sound. Micro Draco, send your ticket to Funky Town. You ain't built for the chaos, all that bark, then you way off. Now your name, just a rumor around the block. Just a story that they mumble when the talking stops. Stinky savage, I warned you. We gon' freak the nation, yeah. Swarm through, talking wild. Now you laying on the ground. 300 black guys, straight to Funky Town. Oh, stinky savage, I warned you. Whole block marching when we storm through. God is Jones to the metal made a sound. Micro Draco, send your ticket to Funky Town. Stinky savage.
a gun for me. See this light of all the shit, your father shit. Feel me, physical father. I want to you. He's a gun to me.
Gun-free nation, we the best. Whole block stand up, beat your chest. Anybody come for us, war already now. Cross that line, we see you straight to a funky town. Gun-free nation, say it loud. We protect our peace, we hold this ground. Anybody come for us, war already now. Cross that line, we see you straight to a funky town. Detroit roller slow, past the corner store. Same crew, same code that we swore before. Eyes up, back straight, never backing down. Guard dogs, front porch, we don't play around. Tattoo on the neck, say family first. Touch you on the heart, see the heavens or the dirt. Mama in the kitchen, keys in the yard. So we keep it tucked close, live a large, stay on hard, stay on hard. Gun-free nation, we the best. Whole block stand up, beat your chest. Anybody come for us, war ready now. Cross that line, we sing straight to a funky town. Gun-free nation, say it loud. We protect our peace, we hold this ground. Anybody come for us, war ready now. Cross that line, we sing straight to a funky town. We don't start it, but we finish. All that break talk, get diminished. Pray in the morning, pray at night. Still keep the hum on, Fortifying.